Well, kia ora and welcome to Game 1, Week 1 of the NZRL National Men's Premiership. The Auckland Vulcans up against the Akarana Falcons. One of the Auckland derbies, you might say, here at Cornwall Park. And it is the defending champs, the Vulcans, who will be looking for a strong start against the Falcons, who are the benchmark of this competition, 8-time Premiership winners. So it is going to be a tough test in game number 1 for both teams. Joining me in commentary, Courtney Tidy. Courtney, looking forward to game number 1.
Oh, absolutely. Great to have Rugby League, the New Zealand Rugby League National Men's Premiership back for another year. It's 117th season. And as you said, a great rivalry between these two sides. Auckland Rugby, the defending champions. When these two sides played each other last year, Auckland got up just by 2 points. A great rivalry. Really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, the benchmark, the Falcons, who have won so many of these competitions in the past. Elsewhere across the weekend, we've got the Counties Manukau Stingrays up against the Bay of Plenty. That is this afternoon as well. Whalers Waikato tomorrow, and then on the women's side, the Vulcans and the Falcons also going head-to-head in Game 1. The Stingrays and Waikato with the Bulls and Orcas on Sunday. So lots of Premiership action across both teams for you to enjoy this weekend. Taking a look at the Auckland Vulcans for this afternoon. At the back, Andrew Natson played SG ball for the Warriors this year. One to watch, Malakai Filippo on the interchange. Player of the year for Mount Albert. Also playing a little bit of SG ball and led around the park by Kadaya Ioka, coached by Tusa Lafaele. It is a strong team with plenty of new faces and a few debutants as well. TJ Ashford, the development and pathways man for Auckland Rugby League, joins us down on the sideline now.
How was your pre-season build-up?
Yeah, it's been a pretty decent build-up, to be honest. It's been a long season for the boys, so another hopefully 6 rounds to go over the next 6 weeks. But yeah, no, they'll be ready to go.
And what are your expectations for this campaign?
Yeah, well, we're in an Auckland jersey. Those people that do watch it, it's a prestige jersey for us. It's been around for over 100 years, so there's always high expectations on the boys, and both our men's and women's and our under-18 sides for the Vulcans are defending champions at the moment, so the expectations are high for all of those teams. So.
And do you have any debuts today that we should be looking out for?
Yeah, well, there's 11 debuts in the Vulcans jersey today, man, so yeah, it's going to be exciting for the boys playing today, and I can't wait for them to rip in. But yeah, no, put it down to our forward pack today. I'm excited to see those boys in that Auckland jersey, and I think they'll do us proud.
Cool, thank you and go well.
Thank you very much.
Also involved with the Harold Nats team, TJ Ashford for the Warriors this year. Over to the Falcons, Courtney.
Yes, and they'll be led around the park by their captain, Brodie Tamarua from Point Chev, and his vice-captain is Jeremiah Schuster from Richmond Rovers. So they'll be looking to lead this pack. Keep an eye on Lolani Papani, who is on debut today, starting, and also Anthony Goulton on the wing, who was the second top try scorer in the Fox Memorial. They are coached by Philip Gordon, who we caught up with.
How's the build-up been this week?
Yeah, we've had a good build-up, a couple of good sessions in particular this week, focusing on what we want to try to do and achieve today in today's game. And really good buy-in from the players, and I think, you know, it's been a week where we sort of built over the sessions to where we wanted to be on Thursday evening.
And what are you wanting to see from your team today?
Yeah, we just, you know, we want to see footballers expressing themselves at the highest level that they have to represent a province in this competition, and, you know, play for each other, play for their families, their clubs, under the umbrella of Akarana. And while doing that, you know, take our proud reputation as a representative team to another level.
Do you have any debuts today that we should look out for?
Debuts all across the park today. We've got a couple of young boys that will be in there. We have a young boy, Lonnie, Lonnie's come to us from the Glenora Bears, and he'll be running on at hooker. And we have a big unit. Bonawai Baladoka on the wing from the Mount Albert Club, and he's come and joined us today, and comes from a great sporting family, and those are two amongst many to watch out for today.
Thank you and go well.
So lots of new faces for both teams, both coaches mentioning that, and that's what's exciting about this competition. You get to see the youngsters making it into a representative environment, and potentially further on as well. Weather down at Cornwall Park, there's plenty of wind about. It is still overcast. There might be a little bit of rain too, but I do love a bit of wind, Courtney, because it means the kickers are going to have a bit of fun this afternoon.
Well, that's right. And it depends on who, I guess, which way they're running, and getting that wind behind you nice and early and doing damage from the first whistle and using that wind to your advantage to get on top of your opposition as we see the team starting to come out.
Yeah, Auckland wearing that famous jersey that TJ Ashford mentioned with the blue and white, the white V, and made their entrance into the Premiership last year, having won the Premiership in 2022, the Championship, sorry, in 2022. And, well, they won the Premiership in their first year, averaging 49.5 points a game across the competition. They love to score points, but it is a very new-looking team. And you'd think that the competition might correct itself somewhat. It'll be Akarana in the maroon and blue as well. And 8 players returning for them from last year's semi-final, which they lost to Counties Manukau. As I said, Courtney, they are the benchmark 8-time Premiership winners. They want to get the season off to a good start.
Well, they will, and there's, as you said, 8-time winners. There's so much pride in that jersey. We heard from their coach, Philip Gordon, how much it means to not only the players, but also their whānau, their family, their friends, everyone who supports this great rugby league side. As you saw the wahine there, welcoming the team out. Captain Brodie Tamarua on your screen. A name we know so well in rugby league, and he'll be wanting to really start well with his side.
All right, well, it will be Auckland to get us underway, playing from left to right. Our match officials this afternoon, Paki Parkinson, a very familiar face for those involved in rugby league. Kadaya Ayoko with the ball for Auckland, and he'll be an important part for them today to lead his side around the park. So game 1 of the NZRL Men's Premiership set to kick off, and it's a great way to do it with 2 Auckland teams up head-to-head. Counties Manukau up against Bay of Plenty as well today. And we're underway. A new season begins for these teams, taken by the Falcons just past their 10-metre, and already some strong defensive work from Auckland to drive them backwards.
When you could see it from the kickoff as they were waiting, Auckland were ready to get into it. They were right up there waiting for the kickoff to charge up, not letting Akarana make any metres up the field.
Patarika Vaivai involved in the tackle there for Auckland with the Falcons last year, so wanting to put a little bit extra into his former team as they try and get out of their own end. Akarana just over the 40 now for tackle 4, and now to dummy half. They'll go towards the left edge. Now a kick through to land some open space down towards the Auckland end. It's allowed to bounce before being picked up by Andrew Nansen. He's ragdolled over his own 10-metre, and both teams just wanting to show some of that defensive intent early.
Yeah, just that aggression there. Great chase by Akarana. They'll want to show the same intensity exactly that Auckland showed on their first defensive set.
So playing it on tackle 2 and trying to bust back up through the middle. What TJ Ashford mentioned, that forward pack is going to be the bread and butter for Auckland this afternoon, with plenty of big boys involved in there. And what a dummy half. Ioka goes towards the left side. A good strong run up towards the 40 to bring it up for tackle 4.
Draws 3 defenders into that tackle.
And a good one-off run there from Dylan Tavita, involved in the grand final last year, so experience needed for them as Ioka puts the ball high down on the last into Akarana territory. Hangs up in the air a little bit, but a great take in the air by Tanuela, and he gets us restarted, although the referee might just call them back off the mark a little bit. Are expecting a close one this afternoon, Courtney. Sometimes these games can blow out a little bit, but these 2 teams are so evenly matched. We'll expect a low-scoring affair, which we saw last year as well.
Absolutely, and they would have spoken about this, about starting strong and not letting it blow out. As you said, both strong sides here. And as you said, it'll be a bit of an arm wrestle early, just feeling each other out.
Red Slav here for Akarana, playing it just shy of halfway. Now they'll kick it through, a little stab kick well there from Fraser. Allowed to bounce again, but picked up by Nansen at the back, who's dancing to try and find his way through a gap. Held up well, though, by Vasufulangi. And the chess match continues. The forward pack struggling to get those good early meters with the defence so strong at the moment. Just caught up in the tackle there. They'll go left side this time. Auckland just shy of the halfway line. No one's really had that attacking position just yet as Pilu plays. Sully over halfway. Finally Auckland finding themselves in Akarana territory. To Ioka now as they're running more towards the right side. Nansen spies a little gap and goes through Nansen, although he's going to get called back. Just the hole was probably a little bit too easy for him there.
Absolutely, as we saw John Sully go through, just drawing in the defenders, an obstruction call. You can see him go through there and just catches the defenders. It's always a hard one, isn't it?
Well, the space, yeah, sometimes you see that. I think it just opens up a little bit too easy. And Nansen, the kind of player that'll exploit that too, so quick on his feet, as you saw. And, well, the first half opportunity, but shut down by the referee. Vasufulangi now for Akarana on halfway from the penalty. They start with some good field position, the Falcons, and now Schomkel just 2 metres shy of the 40. Now rustling back up through the middle they go, another good 10 metres or so. Getting a bit of a roll on Akarana now, starting to find their feet through the middle of the park. Now they go towards the left edge. Some good interplay, stepping off his right. Fraser, and getting held up. They're 12 metres away now, Akarana. To go into the middle they go once more. Tamarua playing out the right side and just dropped on that edge by Graham Tofa. That was just looking dangerous for Akarana. And an early mistake, the first one of the match. They hand the ball back to Auckland just inside their own territory.
Yeah, great work here by the Akarana Falcons. You can see them just setting up their set plays as the sets rolled on, and he just looked up. Could almost feel that try line just in sight. Unfortunately, an error for them. I've been quite impressed with the discipline early from both these sides defensively.
Well, there'll be something about seeing that try line in game number 1, Courtney, that probably gets to your head a little bit for Lani Graham Tofa. Always nice to be the first try scorer of the season, not to be. And Auckland have the scrum feet on their own 10. They pull it straight back towards the middle once more. And I tell you, Vasufulangi for Akarana is getting through a good body of work here early. Involved in the tackle there alongside his captain Tamarua. Now out Ioka towards the right side and just pulling in that winger Galton, but the defence recovers well. Now for Gota, back into the middle to Ioka, and a short line to Vai. 45 out from their own line. They get the penalty, Auckland. Slow ruck release. And now they'll get a chance to find some good field position. Through the first 6 or so minutes, still no score. And the team's just jostling with each other.
Well, they are, and it's been a tactic of this Auckland side. Start of their sets, they like to go wide out to the edges, and they just take it back to the middle, to their forward pack, which we heard earlier. Nice and strong as we see them just charging up through the middle.
Sully, tackle 25 out from the Akarana line, with plenty of tackles up their sleeve as well. Left they go. Vai, and a good storming run by Vai Patarika. Like I said, involved for the Falcons in 2023. Now right side, Ioka, out to Nansen. It just goes behind him and he drops it. The ref will call it, even though the Falcons were swooping quickly on it. Dion Fraser there, but early errors for both teams just when they're hot on attack.
That's it, but it looks promising for both these sides when they do get the opportunity so close to the try line. You can see that they're trying stuff, and that's probably just the teams, as we said, first game of the season, just starting to gel. You know, you would have done all of this in pre-season, but it's actually doing it against an opposition and making sure that you get it right. But very promising attacking signs from both these sides.
Just that first up run, consistently driven back by Auckland, and no doubt fatigue will play a factor if they keep up this level of intensity. The flying up the fence, and now Akarana 20 out from their own line, struggling to get the meters on this set. Tamarua driven backwards in his stride. Now quick ball off the back of the ruck and a strong carry from Shonkel. They'll go into the pocket on the last tackle and just a kick deep towards the corner along the ground. Don't want to bring Nansen into it. In fact, is that a 40-20?
I think it is. He kicked it very deep. And that's exactly what they're going to want to get them out of their own end. And the opportunity to attack.
Oh, they're taking Nansen out of the play as well. They didn't want to give it straight to the fullback, and it was a clever kick in the end. They'll get the ball back at Akarana. Can they make this one a try-scoring set?
And that looks to be their Rotaki, their strategy. The Akarana Falcons is to not allow Nansen that time with the ball.
So Schuster off the restart. Full set of 6 for Akarana as they charge towards the Auckland line. Out towards the left side now they go. Tamarua finds his man, and that one's dropped as well. And Auckland do want to run with it here. Ioka gets the offload from Sully, and over the 20 he goes. Just once again, the opportunities going begging for Akarana.
Yeah, and Fraser, you could see exactly what he wanted to do there. He's been deadly when he has had the ball in hand attacking. Unfortunately, didn't come off again for this side, and we see another error. And you wonder, Sam, if that's the fatigue that's just starting to build into this, or almost 10 minutes in, but both these teams defensively have been so strong. When they are getting the ball on attack, they're just making these errors.
Yep, TJ Ashford in the pre-game mentioned the longevity of the season. Plenty of these players going straight from their respective club competitions, whether that be the Fox or if they're involved in SG ball competitions with the Warriors, straight into this Premiership. So they've got plenty of rugby league under their belt, but the start of a new comp, maybe a few nerves as well for some of the debutants, and plenty of lost ball as Akarana will have it inside the Auckland half again. Fraser to feed that scrum. They'll come left side off the back of it. Tanielu, 35 outs. Togo from dummy half takes a stride out first and then finds Vasuvulangi. Vai helping bring him to the ground as they're in the middle of the park and just trying to scamper out of dummy half. Navajo Doyle. He's taken 20 away and out towards the right they go once more. Now they've got some good shape. Pass wide over the top and it's dropped again by Akarana. Balodro Kadroka, the big man that was touted early by his coach Philip Gordon, just drops it on the right edge. Wasn't a perfect pass, but an opportunity nevertheless.
That's it, and you can see the disappointment on his face. You see it almost perfect to a very tall man as well. And he was very disappointed in himself again. They can see that try line is open just in front of them. Can't finish it off.
Well, I think Pucky Parkinson pulled them back towards the middle for an offside, so they still have the ball, Akarana, as they go towards the Auckland line. Carried in by Vasuvalangi, close to the left touch. They'll go back towards the middle again. Inside to Shonkel. He's right underneath the Auckland sticks. They can go right or left now that they've set up. They go right side. Just caught with the ball in hand. And now they're streaking away. Auckland got out of trouble once more. Annandale just losing it as he took the contact. And Auckland now have a chance to get back out of their own end with Akarana on the back foot.
And this is when Auckland have been so damaging today. When there is a turnover ball, they're quick in transition and get down the field so quickly and do their damage. Put themselves in good position.
Smith getting up to halfway. Tavita. Offload away. One of the first offloads of the game through the first 12 minutes or so. Now Collins. Kamuhemu. Right edge they go. Ioka again. Line ball. Not sure he was totally expecting it, John Sully, but he held on to it. Now on tackle for Ioka. Just, they want to set it up in the middle. Patrika Vai stays on his feet, and now we'll see the play from Auckland. They'll go to the right. Ioka's going to kick for the corner. Challenge the fullback. They jump high. It comes down into Auckland's side, and Nansen's there to collect it, although the referee will say it was touched by an Auckland hand first.
Almost like a triple knock on there, if you can call that. Ball just juggled around a bit. As you said, they went back to the middle of the park. A well-weighted kick from Auckland, and they all go up for it. And Nansen thought he was in and over.
I don't know how Paki Parkinson manages to see with all those blue sleeves in the mix, Courtney, to be honest. A triple knock on, I like that actually. That's maybe Parkinson himself will get involved in the next one. Now a run through the middle from Togua, who gets Akarana a bit of extra metres to get out of trouble, and they'll go towards that right side once more. Tamarua, who loves to be involved in that ball playing lock position, always having his hands on the ball as they want to attack that right edge once more. Schuster pulling him towards the sideline, but he's allowed to stay in the field of play. Now on the last, they're skipping away through Tanuelu. Now they come towards the left. Boot to ball finally from Dion Fraser, and it's long, well long. Bounces into the in goal and over. So 7 tackles coming for Auckland.
Yeah, they almost got caught with the ball there, but you feel like Dion Fraser is their go-to man who you want to have the ball in his hand when it comes to the 5th and last. A kick from him went out, allowing Auckland the ball from the 20-metre line, but he is doing well to find space with his kicks.
Oh yeah, that 40-20 earlier just to, I mean, it was a brilliant kick, but like I mentioned, Andrew Nansen, you don't want to give that guy the ball on the full with 20 metres of space. And maybe that was them being a little bit conservative. 5 metres out from the halfway, Auckland rumbling over through Vakatukalakala. Scooped up quickly by the hooker, and so far the Falcons' defence has stood strong, although that one knocked on in the tackle, was it? Parkinson maybe saying that it was dangerous in the end on Dylan Tavita. Just bent him the wrong way. No, he did knock it on.
Knock on. You just saw him actually. He was held up there, and then Tamarua comes in just to add that little bit extra and to win the ball back for his side. Impressive work from both Tamarua and Schuster, the captains of this Akarana side, just looking to ignite some energy within their side every time they have the ball on attack.
Well, points were not hard to come by for Auckland in 2023. I mentioned earlier, 49.5 points the average for them across all of their games, undefeated as well, but a very new look team, so wouldn't be expecting that sort of scoreline today as Akarana played on halfway through Graham Tofa. Schuster, and he's getting through some good work as well. That interchange will come to play, you would think, shortly, as these players in the first game are getting through some good early work. A strong tackle on Tanialu, dumps him into the ground, and he knocks it on. Kadaya Ayoka with a monster tackle on the fullback, and Auckland get that ball back.
And you could hear the excitement and the cheers from this Auckland side. It was great work here. Good shape from Akarana. And as you said, just a strong tackle from the halfback, Inioka, to get the ball back for his side.
Oh, early season errors. The theme of the afternoon so far through 16.5 minutes. NZRL Men's Premiership Week 1 action, with plenty more games to come across both the men's and the women's competitions. Now, Sully. Slow play the ball for Auckland. They want to get off the mark quickly here, though, through Vai as he gets the legs driving. And
yeah, one of his trademarks, isn't it, for Vai? Just gets the legs pumping, gaining those meters for his side.
Well, I wouldn't want to tackle any of them, to be honest, Courtney, but he in particular, I would stay well clear from. Little ball play there as well. Ayoka, now they've got some space, but once again, called back for an obstruction in the middle. And you see Nansen, I mean, he's getting the ball with space and time, but he's frustrated that his team has given away those penalties.
Well, he is, because you know how damaging he can be on attack, and he's looking for those opportunities, and he's always there in the mix every time they've got the ball on attack. But unfortunately, as you said, those errors just creeping in, and he's not been able to yet, I feel like, unleash, really.
Oh, there's no doubt this game is going to open up at some point, and that is when Andrew Nansen will do his best work. Doggy playing it just before the halfway line, and that's a good ball play and a good offload as well out towards Galton on this left edge. He's got a man on the inside, he finds him, and Dion Fraser, the number 6, goes through, and finally Akarana put points on the board.
Oh, high fives all around, and we spoke about Nansen being the go-to man for Auckland, but for me it's been Dion Fraser for this Akarana side. You can see him involved early in this set. A great offload to Galton on the wing, who knows how to find a try line, but he also knows how to set his teammate up. The speed of Dion Fraser to get it over for his side.
Well, the pace of Galton out on that left wing, and good support running from Dion Fraser. Not much Andrew Nansen could do. A little bit of extra speed on that left edge as well with the offload that just caught Auckland off guard, and Akarana strike first.
Well, it was a great offload, wasn't it, on that left edge, just drawing the defenders in and able to find his winger in Galton. A player who you get the ball in his hand and knows how to find that try line. Was the second top try scorer in the Fox Memorial this year. Played for the Richmond Rovers, who they won the Fox Memorial for the first time since 1980.
Yep, a great grand final at Go Media Stadium, Mount Smart. Richmond winning in extra time over Papakura. Last second field goal, won it for them. And lots of Richmond players in this Akarana team, which, when you're talking about new players coming in and inexperience, having guys that have played alongside each other counts for a lot, Courtney, with particularly Auckland. The guys coming from all over the place must make it a bit tougher.
Well, that's right. And you look at this Akarana side, they're mainly made up of players from Richmond and Point Chev, with the sprinkles of Glenora, Maris in there. And as you said, so many new players in the Auckland side, 11 on debut, and made up of the Te Atatu Roosters. And then you've got some Point Chev players in there, some SG ball players. So plenty of experience, but it's just bringing it all together and making it work on the day.
Well, so far they've stuck with them, and halfway through the first half, there's only 6 points on the scoreboard. So we could be in for a tough, tight context for the next 60 as Tamarua fields it off the restart.
And one thing Akarana will take confidence from is they've spent a lot of their time in their own half down this end, but when they have had the opportunity to get it upfield, they've done very well in causing damage.
Tackle 3, the offload coming, and to the try scorer Dion Fraser, who's picked up by James Hickey and driven back a few extras as well. Oh, that's a big hit, and it's high as well. It was on Schuster, and sorry, it was on Retzlaff, and he was slow to get back to his feet, but just called a little bit high by Paki Parkinson.
And who else other than Paddy Vai just comes in.
Ooh.
Just didn't quite get the arm around, I would say, to not make it a little bit of a shoulder charge.
Well, I'm not sure he'd still be on the field if it was the NRL, but we'd love to see. I'd love to see 13 on 13. Here is Graham Tofa off the restart. Akarana looking for more points. 40 metres out, and it's the edges where I think Akarana are finding the holes in the Auckland defence. Schuster, that Auckland forward pack, hard to go through. 28 away for tackle 2. Out on the right edge, here they go now. Graham Tofa, can he get the arms free? Yes, he can. And out on that right wing, and just taken over touch. It's Bali Droka, the man, the tall man out on that right edge. First real touch of the game for him. And it was a great tackle to send him over the sideline just when he was looking dangerous.
Well, that's right. They shaped to go left and they sent it back right. And they've obviously done their homework on Auckland. They will keep going to this right side and they've got so much faith. We heard from their coach, Philip Gordon, in Balladruka. They've been going to him out on that edge and no doubt they're just working him into this game. A few errors early, but that'll start to change as he gets his hand on more ball.
Daniel Smith with the tackle for Auckland. Just went low and probably closed his eyes and just hope for the best. But they've got the ball back, Auckland, trailing by 6 on their own 20.
Well, that's it, and a bit of rain starting to come down here at Cornwall Park. Probably just making the conditions a bit more slippery.
Well, if holding the ball wasn't difficult enough already through the first 23 minutes, it's about to get a whole lot harder. Over the 40 now for Auckland, still middle of the park. Can they try and exploit an edge? Nansen looking dangerous on this right side. Aoka now finds Hickey. He steps off the right. Held up as he's pulled down over halfway.
It's been a good battle on this edge between these centres and wingers.
Aoka looking for the spiral bomb. It's going to land into the hands of Balladruka, and he takes it on the 30 and wins the penalty as well as the rain does start to get a little bit harder. And I think we may just see Dylan Tavita in a bit of trouble here. I think he's being sent off by Paki Parkinson.
You can see the rain coming down, but also the wind behind Akarana's backs. So they want to make the most of this here as we get into the second half of the first half and really use it to their advantage.
Yeah, so Tavita has been sent to the naughty chair for 10 minutes. It might have been high contact, and Parkinson, given the first one just minutes before, maybe just said, that's enough of that, boys, even though the rain is coming down. I've had enough. So that means Auckland are down to 12. Akarana, how will they utilise the extra space? Schuster taken down, 18 away from the Auckland line. And here is Papani, that player that was touted earlier on in the pre-game. He's on the field now for Akarana. Now scampering there is Togayu. Out towards the left, a little switch play. Vasovulangi, 5 away. Hunting for more. Akarana out towards the right. Good tackle on Retzlaff. Pulls him down 5 away. And just touched as it hit the deck, but play on for Tamarua, who then loses it. And another penalty comes against Akarana. He's going to say it was a no-arms tackle, and he's just going to maybe have a word here to Auckland, with a player already in the bin. Vai, the man being spoken to. I think he's just saying one more, and you'll have to send another one.
We get another look at it there. The ball hit the ground. Tamarua picks it up, puts it to foot. Oh.
Maybe a little bit late, maybe a little bit high as well. And now they've lost it, Akarana. On the first tackle. And Retzlaff, he's getting an earful from Auckland as well. The rivalry continues, but the touchy might be giving a word to Parkinson in the middle.
In Auckland, they'll be feeding the scrum. They'll be very happy to cause that turnover, because they were under pressure. As we said, they already have a player in the bin, and they'll want to get the ball down the other end of the field. Look for a repeat set, even if they can, just to maintain possession while they're under this pressure with only 12 men on the field.
Now here is Nansen for carry number 2. He gets to the point for a fullback where you just get a little bit hungry and start finding your work in the middle of the field. That's exactly what Nansen is doing, is for Gotap towards the 30. Just the one try so far through the first 27.5 minutes. Dion Fraser for Akarana and converted his own try. Now Ioka shaping to the right. Ball back on the inside to Sully over halfway. Slow play the ball for him as well, as Retzlaff is hesitant to get off. On the last, Ioka with the kick downtown, trying to pin Akarana deep in their own end, taken by Tanielu, and a good carry back to get them restarted. Akarana. Now here is Baladroka, a big man who's, well, he looks like he's nearly 7 foot, to be honest. Perfect position for a winger is Graham Tofa. 5 shy of halfway. You'd say Akarana starting to win that battle through the middle. Papani out of dummy half. The reserves on as well for Akarana. Kioa on halfway. Now towards the right edge, and a kick on the last, this time from Annandale, playing in that number 7 position despite the 24 on the back, and Nansen meets Papana just past his 20, and I think Akarana happy to just pin Auckland back in their own end, let them make some of those mistakes that they have been making in the first half. Easy to do when you've got a lead.
Well, that's it. It was a great chase by Akarana off that kick just to pin Nansen down there, not allow him that space. They had 3 in the tackle. You'd be happy with that chase.
Hickey now, and a quick carry out of dummy half from Harmer Campbell, who's on for Auckland. Ioka on the inside. John Sully gets away from one, gets away from another before being taken to deck by Tamarua. And Harmer Campbell goes to Ioka in the pocket. Kick back towards the left edge. This one's going to be contested, you would think, high in the air, and he comes down with it. He's knocked it on as he lands, Tanielu, and now Auckland have a real chance with a scrum feed 15 out.
Well, that was great pressure by Auckland there on Tanielu, as we thought he caught that right in the bread basket, but the pressure was applied and he unfortunately knocked it on. That was a good set by Auckland, just dropping their runners back under and sending them straight back at the markers who thought their jobs were done.
So setting that scrum on the left, what will they do off the back of it? Will they try something on play number 1, or will they just set it up to attack the Akarana line? Nansen?
Just under 10 minutes to go here in this first half. You can see the hands on knees, Sam, some heavy breathing. It's been hard out there today in this first half so far.
So they do come towards the right Ioka. They will set it up in the middle, this time through Hickey. 10 away. Harmer Campbell now to Sully. That's John Sully. Just 5 away from the Akarana line on tackle 2. Harmer Campbell left again. Now they're setting something on this edge. Back on the inside to Pilu. Heavy contact on him, but he plays the ball quickly. Harmer Campbell, dynamic from dummy half, but a size mismatch with Kioa there. Still in possession, Auckland, as a big looping pass to Nansen now as he tries to eye a gap and look for some space. Dances around, has to get out of the way of his own players. And they're just not executing fluidly here, Auckland. Now, Ioka, ball in hand, little stab kick through. A good bounce, and Sully picks it up. And John Sully answers back for Auckland. And a great little bit of skill from the number 7, Kadaya Ioka.
Great work there from this Auckland side. You can see here they just set it up. Vai, he's been quite the ball player in this one. A good kick through. And Sully's been running that exact line all game. They've been setting it up for him, whether he's been running off the back of the ball or chasing through the kicks. And a great pickup by him. Falls straight into his way. So a bit of attitude at the end there to the fullback in Joshua Tanielu, who just laughs it off.
Well, Tanielu partly responsible with the knock-on that set up the Auckland attack, but 6 points to 4, the kick from Vai. Not sure that'll be his regular role this season, but...
Yeah, I did wonder, is that Vai I see who's going to be taking this conversion? Maybe it's something that he's adding to his game, Sam.
Well, it's not a bad skill to throw in, to be honest, and he's pretty good at it. Straight down the middle.
Straight over.
And the scores are tied. 33 minutes into the first half. Just the kick from Ioka, pinpoint in its accuracy, just in between the fullback and the defensive line. So you're asking questions of the defence. And as you mentioned, Courtney, the run from Sully, which he's been doing all afternoon, linking up with his number 7 perfectly.
And this is exactly what Auckland needed. They've still got a player on the bench, in the sin bin for them. So they were able to do that with only 12 players on the field. They just show how damaging they can be when they do get on attack. Yeah,
Dylan Tavita still on the sidelines. He'll be back just before half-time. As Sully, the try scorer, gets an offload away. It's batted down by Akarana, and the referee is going to say play on. It was Kiowa who got a hand to it. Referee Parkinson said that one went backwards. And so now Akarana, after conceding a 4-pointer, fresh on the attack. Retzlaff, 10 metres away. And suddenly Auckland have to go from attack to defence in an instant. And that's another strong run from Kiowa. Flirting with the try line. Now out of dummy half. The Auckland defence strong and driving him backwards. Papani just to the right uprights. Tamarua out towards the left side. Fraser. Asu Vulangi driven backwards, and the Auckland defence not faltering. Through the hands they go out towards this right edge. Good quick pass from Tanielu, and Graham Tofa drops it again. 10 metres out with potentially an overlap on that right edge, and Graham Tofa comes up with the error.
Yeah, and another disappointing error for Akarana Falcons. Tanielu just sends that one. Nice quick ball. And even in these conditions, even if the ball's not exactly where you want it to be, you've got to pull it in and make the most of having possession and not putting your team under pressure. Kiowa for this Akarana side has been impressive, made real impact defensively, and then we got to have a look at what he can do on attack. Went oh so close to the try line.
Well, yeah, the Falcons were starting to get that middle dominance, you'd say in large part thanks to the players off the interchange, but now Auckland are just starting to wrestle it back. 4 minutes to go in the first 40. Out of dummy half, Harmer Campbell finds Ioka, and then he shovels it to Hickey. Pulled down over halfway by Papani. Tavita back onto the field now for Auckland. That was Sipley playing the ball, and here comes the kick from Tavita down into the hands of Tanielu, who maybe he was a little bit nervous about that one, but he takes it, and the Auckland defence meet him 10 metres out from his own line.
Good charging run there from Vale Joka. Big winger that we've mentioned early, but good to see him just getting some metres for his side, drawing 4 defenders.
Well, 3 minutes to play in the first half, and given what we've seen through the first 40, a try just before half-time would be a massive momentum boost for either of these two teams. So it was Akarana who opened the scoring. Auckland have answered back, but there's only 12 points in the match so far. Now, here's a bust up through the middle and a strong run from Ngahi. Fresh onto the field, and one of the Auckland players, I think it might be Sipley, is just slow to get back to his feet. Now an early kick in the count into the in goal by Tamarua. It might be a little bit too long as it dribbles over the dead ball, and 7 tackles coming for Auckland. Tamarua was maybe just trying to pin Auckland back and didn't quite execute it. And there's a stoppage, I think, just to make sure everyone's feeling okay. Simply was slow to his feet and the trainer attending to him in the back.
Yeah, and the kick there from Tamarua just a bit too heavy, but you can see what he was trying to do. Just trying to pin Auckland down there.
2 minutes left in the first half. NZRL Men's Premiership. Round 1, Game 1. And the two Auckland teams, including the reigning champions, Auckland, going toe-to-toe, and that's a crucial penalty, and Tavita wants to take it quickly, but Parkinson pulls him back, and this could be massive before half-time. Good field position for Auckland, full set of 6 up their sleeves.
Yeah, just over 90 seconds to go. Nahe for Akarana has made such an impact. Unfortunately, just added a little bit of extra salt and pepper on that tackle, giving away the penalty. You can see in here just a second effort. There it is there.
Well, Tavita, who had that little spell, has got a bit of extra pace in the legs. Now Harmer Campbell from dummy half will go right to Sipley. He's back on his feet and running strong as well. 8 away from the Akarana line. Clock winding down in the first 40. Did he keep a hold of it? He did. Harmer Campbell. Now a run through the middle. Vai getting close. Is he down? He might have got that down. No, Parkinson saying he did on the line. Just as he wrestled out of the tackle, and Patarika Vai scores the second for Auckland and will give them the lead going into the half-time break.
Well, he will, and he's been working so hard throughout this game for his side. You can see it here. Loves a run-up. Looks to pass off, and you just saw Akarana thought they had him held up, and tackle completed. But he gets over the try line. You can see it here. They've got him there. They have held him up, and then he just wrestles through so strong and forces it down for his side right before halftime.
Yeah, well, the support run by Dylan Tavita as well to suck in the extra defender just gave Vai that extra half a step. And a big boy like that getting close to the line, it's you're not going to stop him 9 times out of 10. Just a word with Paki Parkinson there as well. Maybe going back to that tackle height, there's been a couple of close ones.
And he's got the kicking tee in hand, so he's must be his new role, Sam.
Yeah.
Convert his own try.
It's usually end of the season type stuff, isn't it? You give the front row of the kicking tee, but well, he'll have a go to kick his second and kick his own try as well. As the half-time siren is sounded, this will be the last play of the first 40. What's he like on the left side, Vai? Has he been practicing out there as well? He has. Nice little draw on it as well. Adds the extra 2 points, and 12 points to 6 at the half-time break. Auckland, the defending champs, leading Akarana 2 tries to 1. That was different.
Can't tell.
Oh, catch myself like calling like the field position and everything, which is such a radio thing.
Yeah.
All good on your end?
Close.
Couple of like sort of skips and stuff.
Yeah, because it's all internet based.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
And you don't have enough bandwidth. I think they might have sold it. So costing us 4 stable cameras. It'll be fab.
How long do we have here?
So it's a 230, so 1.5 year.
Yeah, just I get caught like talking about field position, which on TV is not as important, but
No, I still think it's relevant though. Absolutely. Especially here, because you can't control.
it's easy. Yeah, true. It's easy with the single numbers. It's like the 20s that are hard because you're like 24,
I know.
20.
I'm doing well with the names like that.
Once You start to get a feel, I guess, of the guys that are touching it all the time, eh? But no, it's all good. I didn't know there as well if I'm supposed to like throw to a break or just let it slide, but. Well, half time here at Cornwall Park. Round one, game one of the NZRL Men's Premiership, and the Vulcans lead the Falcons 12 points to 6. 3 tries in the first half after an arm wrestle between the two teams. And let's have a look back at all the action from the first 40 minutes.
You can see here the Falcons applying pressure early, but it was just discipline for this side when they would get down the try scoring end for them. A real arm wrestle between both these sides, and just you feel, Sam, they were just starting to gel and figuring it all out. As we saw here, the ball bouncing around, thought it was an early try to Nansen, but not to be.
Well, he was threatening early, Nansen, and then finally the Falcons broke through with a great offload to Galton on that left edge, finding his man in the middle, Dion Fraser, and the number 6 opened the try scoring after you mentioned, Courtney, some bad execution, some bad discipline. They found and exploited some space on the left edge, and a brilliant bit of interplay between the 5 and 6.
And a great offload, as you mentioned, too. The ability to draw 3 defenders on that left edge and get his arm free in the offload. And then Auckland, they replied with this one. Ioka, chip through, perfectly placed chip for Sully, who's been running that line all day. Get another look at it here. Just go straight through the defenders. And then a little bit of extra love from Sully to Taniela.
And just right before half-time, they got the penalty to get them deep into the danger zone. And Vai, a big number, 24, steamed over. Initially thought he might have been held up, but he wriggled out of the tackle, put the ball down, and gave Auckland the half-time lead, which we talked about, Courtney, given how close the game sort of has been over the first 40 minutes. That try just before half-time, that's a massive momentum booster.
Well, it is, and Vai, he's been playing with such enthusiasm and aggression this whole first half, and it's going to be, can both these sides maintain that heading into the second?
So Sully, Vai, the 2 for Auckland, Dion Fraser for Akarana. We've got plenty more to come. The second 40 not far away. Well, welcome back to Cornwall Park here in Auckland. It's half time between the Vulcans and the Falcons. The second 40 just moments away. Round one of the NZRL Men's Premiership. The defending champs Auckland in control of the scoreboard, even though the game has been very tight in the opening exchanges. We thought as much between teams of this quality. Akarana certainly fooled with the Fox Memorial winning Richmond Rovers. Expect the half-time chats will make a bit of a difference for them as they will get us back underway in the second half. The ball on the tee for their captain, Brodie Tamarua. What do you think the message might have been for the Falcons at half-time, Courtney?
For them, it would be discipline. They're doing well when they do have the ball in hand. It's just making sure they just start to eliminate those areas, especially when bodies start to get tired. We've seen great impact off the bench for them. So they've had that 10-minute spell, so they'll be wanting to start with some enthusiasm and aggression, but it's when they are on attack. You can see they're running into the wind and the rain here, so they're up against it.
Well, they do have a a shorter half to play into. Looking at their halfway line, Courtney, that's about a metre less to get into opposition territory. We're back underway. And the wind also playing a bit of a role here, as you saw that one held up, and already some big contact early on Harmer Campbell. The ball did go backwards though, and Ioka was there to clean it up for Auckland. So they'll come back now through Sipley, driving the legs forward. Brother of Toa Fafos Sipley out of Manly. And the Seagulls, Harmer Campbell skipping away. He's added some nice injection of pace out of the back of the ruck since he's come on, Harmer Campbell for Auckland in that first 40. Now back up through the middle goes Ivai, the man who scored for Auckland just before half-time. Harmer Campbell goes right side Ioka. This is a good start to the second half for Auckland. They've made it deep into Akarana territory, a best part of 60 metres, and they'll play it 20 out and go towards the right. Ioka will put the kick. It once again gets held up in the wind. It's going to be allowed to bounce off an Auckland player, and Akarana stay out of trouble. But a pretty good start to the second half for Auckland.
Yeah, great first set for them. As you said, they made it 60-odd metres up the field, and they've been so great at that all game. So it's good to see they've started their second half off like that. That's something that Akarana would have spoken about, is not allowing Auckland to get up the field so easily and try and pin them down and apply that pressure. Because we've seen from both these sides, when they do apply that pressure, mistakes were being made.
So now Akarana through Togui, playing at 35 out from his own line. Out of dummy half goes Papani. Quick scoop pass. Papani, the one to watch on debut for Akarana this afternoon. Now towards the left, Tamarua scoops it on to Redslav. It's, they're claiming it touched an Auckland hand. Akarana, no call coming from the referee. So the count remains the same. Now Tamarua towards the left. Fraser, good skip pass out now to Togui, who has a man on the inside, and Fraser finds him, but then the Auckland defence recovers. Potentially looking to get the arms free. Just 12 out. Slow to his feet as well, Fraser, as they've got two left in the set. Retzlaff. Now just 10 metres away. Fraser, bad pass to Papani, has to get rid of it. Tamarua, he's looking for someone out the back as the Auckland defence rushes up quickly. Finally finds the hands of Schuster. He's taken down. Now, Danielu to Ngahi. Setting it up in the middle. Papani surveys left and right. We'll go to the left side this time. In the hands of Tamarua. Now a good crash play close to the line, and rolling around is Vasu Valangi. He's going to be playing it just centimetres away. And Papani thought about going himself. Finds Tamarua instead. Now Danielu, little kick through for himself. Deflects off an Auckland player, and at the back, quick on it was Andrew Nansen, and does stay in the field of play. That's good defensive work from the Auckland number one.
Yeah, he's done well to stay in the field of play there. Has Nansen a good set, looked dangerous early from the Akarana Falcons, shifting it out to that left edge. You almost thought Dion Fraser was in for a try, but great scrambling defence from this Auckland side.
Auckland now rumbling through the middle. Toguiu playing to Harmer Campbell. And getting the offload away. Makuta Kalakala. 10 in from this near touch. Last tackle up for Auckland. They're deep inside their own half, so Ioka's going to have to kick long. And this one just gets caught on the toe of the boot, so it's not going to go far, and it's allowed to bounce. Finally, the Falcons come away with it. And a good step now back through the middle. Toguiu down that left-hand sideline with a man covering in the form of John Sully. Just a metre in from the far touch. The Falcons with all the field position through the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Toguiu has been so dangerous on that left edge. Great footwork. Knows how to get his arm out for an offload too. Did well to stay in the field of play, and a great chase by Sully.
That ball going to ground, and Auckland celebrating the knock on. They've stopped Akarana hot on the attack. And you said that discipline was a factor in the first 40. Courtney, they probably did speak about it at half time. And once again, as they were in the danger zone, they've coughed up possession.
And you just saw the captain, Brodie Tamarua, just go and have a little word to Retzlaff, just saying, when we're in these positions, let's be disciplined. See here, he tries to get a late offload. Unfortunately, turns the ball over for his side.
Yeah, Papani just looking for the next, where he was going to set up the next play. Wasn't expecting the offload, and Auckland now will have the scrum feed, 20 out from their own line. Juggled in the air, but held by Daniel Smith. Harmer Campbell goes for a dart himself. Right down the bootstraps, though, held on to by Schuster. Now this is Pilu, over halfway. Just 5 gone in the second 40. Still leading 12-6 Auckland. Harmer Campbell fakes left, goes right. Vai through the hands. Great pass to Ioka, who skips around a couple of players before being taken. 25 away. Tackle on him from Retzlaff. And now Anson, who wanted the quick ball off the back of the scrum, of the ruck, sorry. He's 15 away. Harmer Campbell had options to choose from. Ioka, another stab kick through. Another run by Sully, getting close. It's lost by Akarana, and I think Ioka's chased his own kick, and he's going to award the try, Parkinson. Ioka, the danger man, gets the first try of the second 40.
With just over 6 minutes, Auckland go over, and it looked very similar to the first try for Sully. That little chip through. You can see it here. The chip goes through. Sully chases that same line, and unfortunately, Tanielo couldn't pick it up. There was a bit of confusion, but eventually it was awarded.
Well, Tanielu has had a tough time dealing with those kicks at the back. He lost one in the air that led to Auckland's first try, and then his second try, I should say, but also the grubber in the first half from Ioka, hard to deal with. That one's no different, and Ioka gets the third try for Auckland, the first of the second half, and Vai's got a bit of a tougher kick this time, Courtney.
Well, if anything, he's definitely got the power, so he'll have the distance. I'm just trying to look at, see which way that wind's going.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, his first 2 kicks, straight over the middle, straight over the black dot.
Judging by some of the kicks we've seen in the last 7.5 minutes, he'll be kicking with the breeze at his back, but this is the real test for his kicking duty credentials. First to, you'd say, routine. He's going to have to kick on his non-favoured side as well. And given the closeness of that first half, every kick and every 2 points matters. And he's got it. Vai. He has been doing some work in the off-season.
Well, where's this been his whole career, I wonder? Or maybe it's always been there.
Just biding his time and waiting until he had all of the the confidence he needed. He's 3 from 3, 18-6. And he extends the lead for his side. And Akarana, who, had a couple of opportunities down in the red zone and just coughed up possession, just need to switch back quickly. They cannot let the score get away from them. That is what Auckland did so well in 2023, just building scoreboard pressure on teams, and then the defence staying strong too. Tavita, ball to Sipley over the 30. Elsewhere in the men's premiership this weekend, Counties Manukau, Bay of Plenty. It's in Papakura and Otago, Waikato and Dunedin tomorrow as they get a break down this right edge. Auckland into the hands of Fagota. He's got a man on the inside, and Harmer Campbell as he tried to get an offload away. It's scooped up by Nance and it's messy. Auckland still have it and they're 5 metres away. The Akarana defence on their heels. They'll come back towards the middle. Harmer Campbell, big looping pass to Vai. Now a little stab kick through, this time from Akutukalakala. It's bounced awkwardly for Akarana again. And Vakutukalakala has chased his own kick. And, gee, if you had 3 grubber kick tries on your bingo card, you'd be a happy man this afternoon.
Absolutely, and they started early when they got space down that right edge. And then they're able to put a grubber through here, and you can just see the Akarana players just falling over on the ground. And this try celebrations. Just a chip through, license to kick. Great chase, 2 Akarana Falcons on the ground.
Well, once again, those kicks just pinpoint in the fact that they were in behind the defensive line, far enough away from the fullback that the defence has to guess, and it did look like a bit of a miscommunication between Graham Tofa and the fullback, and Tofa just put his hand out, batted it down for Akutukalakala to pick up himself, and this will be an easy one for Vai. And we could be looking, well, we should be looking at 24 points to 6 with 30 minutes to play. Auckland are in command.
We're in complete command, and as we see the ball fall off the tee there.
He hasn't been practicing that. That's
just shows how windy it is down there on the field. But also we were saying sometimes these games can blow out, but we didn't expect it for these two sides as Vai gets another one.
Oh, there was some concerns for the Warriors off the kicking tee this year. I just wonder if Vai might be trying to put his hand up in a specialist role. Conversions only. I'm not sure if that's a waste of an interchange, but if you need the 2 points. One from the sideline will convince me. Right out wide.
We might
30
see
metres
it
on
this
the
game.
angle. Another game for Akarana, just getting away from them. Back-to-back tries for Auckland to start the second half. Sipley. Good run back through the middle, and fatigue will play a factor in it. Sipley's lost that one in the tackle. And that's great work from the Akarana defence. Just as I was saying, they needed to wrestle the game back. Here is their opportunity.
Well, this is exactly what they need, because momentum was against them. They just needed to find something to shift it, and this is exactly it. They're going to get the ball for the scrum. Here it is here. It just slips out there. Bit of extra love as well.
Yeah, Navaja Doyle, the number 19 for Akarana, involved in dislodging the ball from Sipley. Yeah, they do love giving it to each other. They are crosstown rivals. What can Akarana do now with this field position? Graham Tofa. It's heavy contact on him. It gets up quickly. Now as Doyle goes left to Tamarua. Shonkill. Quick scoop as well out of dummy half from Doyle, and bounces off the would-be tackle from Vai. Very close to the Auckland line. Akarana now on the attack. Tamarua. Backdoor pass, good line ball, and a great tackle to cut down Schuster. He was going close. Graham Topher going to go himself. They read that one well, Auckland. Does get an offload away now, Doyle. Scampers towards the line. The Auckland defence holding strong. Schuster goes himself. Schuster, he's trying to wrestle away. They've held him up, I think. And the defensive work from Auckland there to deny Akarana a try. That is the sort of defence we saw last year in their Premiership run. And it keeps Akarana at bay here in the second half.
And you can see the intent there behind this Akarana side. They all were trying to have a dig at the line. Some of them probably just going a little bit too high, had to go a little bit lower. And great defence there from Auckland. Turned the ball over, held up in goal.
Score does remain 24-6, 15 gone in the second 40. And now Harmer Campbell exploits the retreating Akarana defence. They're offside and referee Parkinson gives the penalty. And that is a real deflation for Akarana.
Well, it is, especially when they force that error early in the set for Auckland. You can see it there. Not at marker, but not all the way back. The 10, giving away the penalty.
Another good kick from Auckland to set themselves up. Hunting for more. Noah Harmer Campbell to Dylan Tavita. Served a 10-minute Simbin in the first half for a high tackle. Ioka back on the inside to Sipley. Drives the legs up towards the 10. Plenty of space on the left edge, but Harmer Campbell goes short side. Ioka again now fakes left, back on the inside, but he's just in touch on that right side. I think it was Fagoda, and that was only tackle 3 for Auckland. So they've given Akarana a get out of jail free card there, 8 out from their own line.
Yeah, they'll breathe a sigh of relief there. This Akarana side, mind you, they have to work it all the way out from their 10. Charging run once more by Bala Droka.
Fraser plays the dummy half roll, and now they want to go out towards their right edge. Graham Topher getting a half break through that line. I mentioned in the first half the edge is doing the work for Akarana. That's where the space was. It's where they got the first try. But they haven't quite been able to find it here through the first 15 of the second 40. Playing it off the deck for Schuster, and now over halfway they run. The rain abated for the second half as Doyle finds Fraser. Then Tanielu held on to the back of his shirt by Ioka, and Fraser has it on the last. He's going to kick it low and hard. Hanson's going to let that one dribble, and that is the third time that Akarana have put a kick on the last through to the in goal and over the dead ball line, which gives Auckland a 7-tackle set. Hanson will get us back underway. Just another mistake for Akarana.
Yeah, and it's tough, especially at this time in the game. When it happened a little bit earlier, you could go, okay. But when the bodies are starting to get tired, you could see them struggling to get back there. That's when you just want to make Auckland not give them those cheap meters and make them work it out from their own end.
Now, the dynamism of Harmer Campbell, he's putting his hand up for one of the players of the game so far. The pace out of dummy half has kept the Akarana defence retreating.
Absolutely, he's been one of the standouts so far for me in this game.
Sean Tempest just on the field as well for Auckland now, the former Falcon himself. And once again, Harmer Campbell gets that penalty with his speed.
And also his game smarts. If you watch him, he knows which way he wants to send the ball. He's got eyes up. A quality of a very, very good hooker. Eyes up, notices when the markers or the defence isn't quite right, and he'll gain those those penalties for his side.
Yeah, well, 10 out from the Akarana line. Auckland looking for try number 5. Ball goes to deck, but it's easily gathered by Bakutukalakala. Ball from Tavita. Finds Tempest. He'll go close. Very, very close. And he knocks it on over the line. In fact, that was Malakai Filippo, the player of the year for Mount Albert this year, played some SG ball for the Warriors, and maybe just got a white line fever as he got close. Gives the ball back to Akarana.
Just loses it right in there. And another get out of jail free for Akarana.
A man down here for Auckland. Potentially just a bit of cramp. Maybe giving the boys a bit of a break. It's been a frenetic second half start for both teams.
Well, it has. It's been end-to-end football for both these sides. You can see there the ice blocks coming out. Bit of salt for the cramps. Bit of hydrolyte.
Yep. Our first game up of the season, you know, you're just trying to find your rhythm and your tempo, and you want to learn your opposition as much as you want to learn what you're capable of alongside your teammates. And Daniel Smith, who's not seriously down, he's probably going to bounce back to his feet rather quickly, but it does give a chance for everyone to catch their breath. Akarana, who, well, they haven't had much trouble getting out of their own end. It's just down the other end, Courtney, in the red zone, where they've given up possession, came up with some errors. That's why we look at a scoreboard that reads 24-6.
Well, that's it. And as we saw earlier with their kicks just going over the dead ball line, they're not finding those repeat sets as well to start building that pressure. And we saw that they had such intensity when they were on Auckland's try line. They know that they need to find points, and they need to find points soon. But what they could also do is start looking at repeat sets.
So Annandale with the ball in hand as we get back underway. A scrum feed on their own 10. And Tanielu towards the 20. Just 20 minutes to play in the match. An 18-point deficit for Akarana to try and overcome.
Some charging runs by Akarana, exactly what they need, just straight up the middle. We've seen them do it all game, and then they start to send and shift the ball out wide.
And now they've got some good pace off the back as well through Solomona, the number 17. Doyle, Tamarua. And Tamarua got himself and gets a good offload pass away as well. Schmeichel's looking for someone around him. No one was there. And he'll be taking about 8 away. The Auckland defence retreating. Now Doyle. Hard pass out towards the left edge. Tamarua again. Ball over the top. Trying to pick it off was Auckland. They're saying that it might have touched an Auckland hand. Togu dropped it on this left side. Did it touch an Auckland fingertip? That's the question.
It looked like it did, but we'll have a better look at it here. Hard to tell from this angle.
Well, Auckland will get the ball back.
Yeah, another disappointing end to that set for Akarana. Another mistake. They look dangerous. You saw their captain, Brody Tamarua, just charge it up himself, finding space, and it was almost like Schmokel didn't know what to do when he was in space.
Yep. Yeah, the big, that's what happens when the big boys go through a hole. They look everywhere. It's unfamiliar territory. They should just take a note out of Patrick Vaivai's book and kick it. See what happens. Harmer Campbell and finds Malakai Filippo. I think Auckland will be, well, apart from the first 20 or so minutes where they themselves come up with a couple of errors threatening the Akarana line, outside of that, Courtney have played pretty flawless rugby league through the next 40 or so minutes, and the scoreboard suggests that that ball out to bounce, and that makes it dangerous as Auckland come back with it. And Harmer Campbell, who deserves a try for what he's brought since coming onto the field, has made it try number 5 for Auckland. Akarana caught it all sorts at the back. 28 points to 6.
Well, and it goes to the man who's been everywhere today, involved in everything, and as you said, most deserving of a try in this match. You can see it, they kick it from just outside the 40, goes nice and high, lands between fullback and the winger, and just sits up nicely for Harmer Campbell to go over.
Yeah, Tani Elu and his winger Baladroka. And I mean, Tani Elu maybe just in that position now, Courtney, where he's second guessing himself. He's not been able to deal with the kicks, whether it be on the ground or in the air, and now there's some miscommunication with his winger. And a favourable bounce for Auckland, it must be said, but you make your own luck, and Vaivai's lost the kicking duties.
Well, I think he's actually gone to the bench for a rest, so if he's finished his last kick for the day, he finished at 100%.
Protect the record, eh? That's what it's all about. Harmer Campbell, who's going off for a spell. He's been so dynamic since coming on. He didn't start the match, but just the pace at the back of the ruck, and you mentioned it as well, the ability, Courtney, to spy the defence at the worst times from the defence point of view, to win the penalties and catch them out of position. That's a large part why Auckland find themselves in this position. Well, that's a good kick from Waku Te Kalakala. Maybe they've all been doing kicking practice in the off-season. 30 points to 6. And perfect off the kicking tee.
We'll get another look at it here. The kick sits nice and high and drops, as you said, between Baladroka and Tanielu and Harmer Campbell. Slides over untouched. Well, no Vaivai there, so maybe he is still out on the field. Maybe he's, he is, he's still on the field, so maybe he said, you know what, protect the record.
That's called padding the stats, Courtney. That's exactly what Patarika was doing there. Protect the 100% record, that's what it's all about. Or they're just, spreading the love around and asking anyone who wants 2 points to step up and deliver. That's exactly what Waku Te Kalakala, who's got to try himself in this game, has done. And Auckland, they do not want to stop here. They want to keep going. Averaged 49.5 points in 2023. It's a new look team, but the pedigree is still there and representing a jersey that's so iconic in Auckland Rugby League. Now here is Vaivai. They push him back a few before finally bringing him to ground.
Another chip through.
That'll kick through. This time it's over the sideline, taking Tanielu out of the play altogether. But they'll be happy with that, Auckland, with the 24-point lead.
As we see cool weather conditions here at Cornwall Park in Auckland, they'll be happy with that set. They're going to try and pin Akarana down here, make them work for every metre.
Here's Galton for Akarana. Fraser to pick it up from dummy half, and they want to go towards the edge. Graham Tofa, it's just holding off that extra pass when they're pulling the defence right to left. It's effective, and they get the penalty this time. And that is that's much needed for Akarana, who haven't spent a lot of time down on the Auckland end in the second half.
That's it, exactly what they need. As you said, a good run off the back of Graham Tofa.
Jeremiah Schuster gets us back underway for Akarana. If you're talking about a big comeback, you think they'd have to score very, very soon. And here's Dion Fraser. They've split the Auckland defence apart out on this left edge. A man on the outside, but he's going to go himself. He's just cut down 5 metres short. Solomona there. It looked like he had the man on the left open and free to go in untouched. Here's Tamarua. Akarana, what can they do now? Can they keep a hold of it? Can they get another 4-pointer? Kiowa. And very slow getting up to play the ball on that occasion. Big looping pass over the top there from Doyle. Finds Galton on that left edge, and he's going to be cut down short. He reaches out. Was it a double movement? Either way, the referee is saying no try.
And you wonder if they keep sending it out to Galton because he knows how to find the try line. Second top try scorer in the Fox Memorial. But they had such good momentum. And they see this big loopy pass. Not much space out there for him. Had a lot of work to do. Impressive defence from Auckland throughout that whole set. Scrambling defence when Akarana made their breakdown. the field, and they had the momentum going with them, and then they just slowed it down. They sent the ball back underneath just to start to shape back towards the middle, where you know the space was outside and the defence was scrambling.
Yeah, just that they, I wouldn't say they're desperate, Courtney, but they are searching for something, and maybe that's why Galton tried so hard to get that ball down. I think it was called back as a knock-on over the line, so they will have the scrum feed Auckland, 10 out from their own line. Another little slow down here just to give the boys an extra break. The trainer even getting a talking to from Puggy Parkinson.
Yeah, just over 10 minutes left to play. 24 points the difference.
So off the back, Sipley dragging a couple with him as he inches out of his own end. From dummy half, Collins Kamuhemu replacing Harmer Campbell. Started the game, Collins Kamuhemu, and now he goes for a dart himself.
Good cover defence there by Schuster, just shuts the gate.
And he needed to as well. Now here is Tempest. Plays the ball shot just shy of halfway. And Hansen, who, despite all of the possession territory and the scoreboard, hasn't featured on attack as much as you might have thought. Playing SG ball for the Warriors this year. Vai Ioka gets the offload away. And rumbling back up through is John Sully, one of our try scorers in the first half. In fact, the first try scorer for Auckland. Slow play the ball for Collins Kamuhemu. Now a little kick through from Vai. It's an Akarana player, bounces back. Is it going to be knocked on by Akarana? I think it is, and Auckland are going to get the ball back. 20 out from the try line.
I want to know who's given Vai his license to kick this game. Because it's a great one. He saw the space in behind and gets the ball back for his side.
Well, yeah, there's a question for the captain or the coach in the post-match. Was this part of the game plan, Vai, or has he just gone rogue? I'd love it if he was going rogue, to be honest. He's doing a great job of it. He's 4 from 4 off the tee. He's putting kicks through on the last tackle. Ball back for Auckland. Can they extend this lead? 9 minutes to play. You'd think the comeback for Akarana is probably out of the question. It's just now a matter of keeping the score close.
Well, that's it. They'll want to minimise as much damage as they can.
Ioka taking the contact himself out on the right edge. Wants a quick play the ball. Now they find Filippo, and he gets the offload away. Vai's there waiting for it. Vai dancing through, and Vai going himself, and Vai just turns the screws. The jet engines go on, and he is going to extend Auckland's lead with his second try of the afternoon.
Well, they had nothing doing there at all, Sam. There was an offload, and they were almost just standing there. And Vai just said, right, I'm just going to charge it straight up, see what I can do here. You see here the offload, just standing, little jig around. Goes, actually, I'm just going to go forward. It scores one for his side.
Well, it's the luxury of being 24 points ahead, isn't it? Is that you can look at the defence in front of you and just scope it all out. It's and go for something yourself, but it's harder to do when you're in the position Akarana, and he's. Let's see if he is going to convert his own points. Of course he is. Take the easy ones now.
And as you said, it's just that scoreboard pressure, the luxury of being able to try things when you are so far ahead on the scoreboard.
Well, if he knocks this one over, Vai, that'll be 18 points for the match, 2 tries, 5 conversions if he hits this. You'd hate to miss this one after the first 4, let's be honest.
Don't say it, Sam, don't say it.
Just don't go under the bar and you'll keep the kicking duties. There we go. Easy as you like. 36 points to 6, 7 minutes to play in the match, and Auckland, the defending champs, opening their NZRL Men's Premiership campaign in 2024 in strong fashion, just like they finished in 2023.
Well, and it all started with Akarana scoring the first try to Dion Fraser. And then also Auckland having Tavita sent to the sin bin. So they're a man down and they replied as you would with a try. And then they've just built from there.
Oh, the short kickoff here from Akarana, and Auckland didn't have a clue what was coming. Graham Tofa comes down with it, and now Akarana hunt for some points. They'd want to finish with something in the second half. It hasn't been the best 40 minutes for them, Courtney, but they, you know, a 4-pointer just feels a little bit better than 36 points to 6 as it currently stands.
And they've gone so close every time they've been down here in the back end of this second half. It's just stuff like that, the miscommunication. We see a turnover ball, Dion Fraser just pops a short ball up. And unfortunately, they knock it on.
It's such a momentum game as well, isn't it? The second half for Auckland, once they got that first try, the tails went up and they've just kept going. And even there, the defense strong. And as soon as the error came up, they're cheering. They're straight back on the attack. And Akarana's they just seem to have dropped as the scoreboard got away on them.
You're right. In Auckland, they've just been relentless every time, charging that ball up like we've seen. And just really using the momentum that they've had to just absolutely quiet the defence of this Akarana side.
So spreading it out towards this left side. Atu Te Kalakala. Now on to Pelu. Fends off his opposite and then gets held up. It's an offload though to Sipley, and he might get the arms free as well. He does. And now Atu Te Kalakala kick through. Ioka's looking for it. Taniela's there. He's taken out as he tried to pick it up. The penalty will be given. That time, Tanielu was impeded. And Akarana get away with it.
Plenty of offloads here from this Auckland side. Something that Akarana will want to look at for the future is to wrap up their tackles and not allow those offloads. So I tell you what, that was looking good for a try.
So less than 5 to play. 36-6, Auckland leading in game 1 here of the NZRL Men's Premiership for 2024. Offload here for Akarana. Doyle's wrapped up. And it's going to get the penalty as well. That's just a little bit too long on the top of the ruck, and Tanielu wants to play quickly. That's a great kick from Tanielu. 20 metres out now from Auckland's line. That's where Akarana will start. Can see the woman warming up in the background as well. That game to come. Auckland v Akarana. So the Auckland derby continues. And it was the Vulcans who won both the men's and the women's premierships last year. They did the double. Akarana on this right side. Tanielu now spies a bit of a hole. Got that right arm free for the offload, but didn't have a player close enough. Graham Tofa out of dummy half and swung around a few times before being pulled down 5 in from the near touch. Very slow play the ball as well. And lost at the back. The penalty will be called. Ali Droka is going to play quickly. Away they go. Schuster. Errant pass, but now scooped up by Kioa.
And Jules 3 in defence. He's been great impact for this Akarana side since coming onto the field.
And now Tamarua. Good line ball, and it's a forward pass, in fact. Shomkel, who went close, perhaps even over the line. It has been called back for the forward pass, and I'd love to know the error count in the red zone for Akarana. Corny, that has been the story of this afternoon.
Well, it has, and it's so disappointing for them. You can see it there. Went forward off the hands from Tamarua. Great line run there. But as you said, it's just the mistake after mistake by this Akarana side, taking its toll, and it shows on the scoreboard as well.
2 minutes left in the match. 36-6, the lead for Auckland. Can they get one more before the full-time siren sounds? Oh, well, they've coughed it up on play 1 through Fagota, and now Akarana Straight back on the attack through Doyle. 10 metres away. Last chance before full time to get something more on the scoreboard. Shomkel. Slow play the ball for him. Auckland don't mind that. Tamarua. Backdoor they go now. Schuster.
Good defence from Auckland.
Now they haven't allowed anything really through the middle this afternoon. Doyle. Not sure who that was intended for. Tamarua has it. That's 10 in the bin for Auckland. And I think it is Collins Kamuhemu, the hooker that replaced Harmer Campbell. I think that's just too many for Paki Parkinson. And he said, off you go. Won't matter though. A minute to play. Akarana just trying to score the consolation points. Somkel, 5 away. Tackle 1. Quick out of dummy half goes Papani in close. Can he get the ball down? Great defence from Auckland again, stopping the young hooker shy. Big looping pass towards the middle. Now they'll be knocked on, I think, by Auckland, who was in the line. It's what as Parkinson will say. Kiowa was threatening with that line ball. Just 15 seconds left to play.
See the excitement from the crowd as they held that try up. Yeah, knock on from Auckland. Akarana, one last chance at it.
Yep, the hooter will sound very shortly, and Akarana will have just a couple more plays to get something out of this match. Scrum feed 10 away. A sun poking its head through the clouds as well for the first time this afternoon. In fact, it's Auckland who did get the scrum feed from Paki Parkinson. Thought it actually came off Kiowa's hand first, so no dice for Akarana. Auckland trying to get out of their own end, looking dynamic as well. Now here is Nansen.
Doing well to just hold on to the ball there.
And very slow ruck speed from Auckland there. Just on top of Nansen was Shomkel. Over the 40 Auckland go. I'll be happy just to let it wind down. They'll take a 30-point win in game number 1. That's an impressive first-up performance against an Akarana team that they had a good rivalry with last year. Now out towards this left edge through Sipley now, who's got some good leg drive up to the 40. And last tackle's up for Auckland as Harmer Campbell back on the field goes left. And a kick through from Hakuta Kalakala. This time dealt with by Akarana. The clock winding down on this match. Tanielu has it for the Falcons. Graham Tofa. 40 out from his own line. They know the clock, there's just seconds to go. Dion Fraser, left edge. Togu, sorry, who over halfway, he runs into his own man. The penalty is delayed. It's finally given, though, by Parkinson. Auckland will get the ball back, and as the full-time siren sounds, I think Auckland, the referee, will blow the whistle. And the Auckland Vulcans get a first-up win against Akarana here at Cornwall Park. Game number 1 of the NZRL Men's Premiership. 36 points to 6. An impressive first-up performance.
Well, that's exactly what you expect from the defending champions as well, starting the season strong. Momentum was against them early, but they managed just to chip away at it. Intensity, aggression. And just got back-to-back tries after letting in an early one to Akarana.
Well, 36 points for the Vulcans. Last year averaging 49.5 per game, so they're a little bit off that, but like I said, we'll take a 30-point win against a Vulcans team, and a Falcons team, I should say, that is an 8-time Premiership winner. Let's have a look back on how it all transpired over the 80 minutes.
And we have a look at it here. The Falcons, they shifted it to their left edge with an offload. Galton does well and sends Dion Fraser back on his inside over for the first try of the match for the Falcons. But it was a quick reply from Auckland.
Yeah, Akarana were in control. The beautiful kick from Ioka that John Sully managed to nab close to the line. That put Auckland over for their first.
Well, and then the momentum just kept rolling. Vai managed to wrestle the ball over for the second try for his Auckland side, supported on his left shoulder by Tavita just to draw those extra defenders in, but went it all himself.
Harmer Campbell linking up well with his number 7, Ioka. Little stab kick through, which was so effective throughout the game. Chased it himself and waited the referee to give that call through before celebrating.
And we see it here again. Harmer Campbell just doing damage out of hooker. Smart play, noticing that there's no markers and sends the ball down that right edge. Comes back on the inside, picked up by Nansen, who did well. See Harmer Campbell there in at hooker, telling his men what he wants. And Vai using the width, a chip through here. And just a few of the Falcons players fall over and gathered and regained by Vaku Takakala.
Oh, there was those grubber kicks doing the damage for Auckland. Harmer Campbell, injection of pace into the game from him. Another sky-high bomb. Miscommunication between Tanielu and Kadroka, and Harmer Campbell was the man who came through, and a well-deserved try for the number 9, who was impressive all game long. Auckland extending that lead once more.
And then this one, just the offload, not much doing at all. And Vai just decides, right, I'm going to charge it straight back up, like what he did with his first try.
And Vai, who converted a lot of his own points as well. Let's go down sideline 2. Patarika Vai, 2 tries and 5 goals in this match. He's down on the sideline.
A few tries. Cute. Hey, it was a good game for you. You were converting a few tries, including your own. How do you plan to carry that momentum forward into this campaign?
Just sticking together. We've had our last 3 weeks we got together, building a chemistry and culture. If we keep going with that, we should do well.
Cool. And you had a few debuts today. How do you think they went?
They're in real good. I'm real proud of them. A lot of experienced boys weren't going to play this year, but we saw the young boys who got to go, and so we thought, if we can guide them and help them through this campaign, that's a win. Getting the win again today is just a bonus.
Awesome. Congratulations. It was a great game. Good luck going forward.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Patarika Vai, 5 goals, 2 tries, so 18 points for him. Pretty impressive performance from the number 24. Do you think he did enough to retain the kicking duties?
I think so. He's protected his record very well, 100%, but also you can just see how humble he is. Spoke about, all the other players around them doing the job. Plenty, and supporting those younger players. They had 11 players on debut, supporting them, helping them through this campaign, the more experienced players. And I think it showed out there because you had the more experienced players putting their hands up, leading from the front, and then it showed when you saw the work throughout the whole team and just how strong they were. And once the momentum was on their side, they really did put their foot down.
Yep. Lots of youngsters in the side. TJ Ashford, the Development and Pathways Manager for Auckland Rugby League, mentioned that in the pre-game. But sprinkle in a little bit of that experience like you mentioned, and Auckland just as strong as they were last year, despite losing a lot of that championship side.
And we spoke about earlier about these teams coming together, having to figure it out. These players coming together, having to figure it out.
Oh, let's head down to the sideline now to catch up with the Akarana captain.
It's not obviously the result we were hoping for, but what do you think you can improve on going forward?
Just ball control. possession of the ball. We obviously had a lot of errors in the game, and you know, if you keep making errors in the game, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. But yeah, just obviously ball control and a few little errors. But we're a new team that's still building combinations, but yeah, we're going to get better. So we'll just move on to next week and yeah, forget about that one.
Awesome. Well, good luck going forward.
Hey?
Good luck going forward.
Thank you.
Akarana captain Brodie Tamarua. And, well, we've talked about it across the 80 minutes. Courtney, he echoed that sentiment as well. Just the errors, the discipline, that really costs them there. There's signs there. And a young team he mentioned that's still coming together. But the signs are there. Let's have a look at some of the other action across the weekend in the men's and women's Premiership. Stingrays Bay of Plenty in the men's, Whalers Waikato as well. Over in the women's, Vulcans Falcons coming up very shortly for you. And a rematch of the final, and Stingrays Waikato Bulls Orcas also across the weekend. But for game one of the men's Premiership, it's the Vulcans, 36 points to 6 over the Falcons in game number 1.